leader. Do you have team members who are contractors? If so, today's episode will shine a light on a possible problem that will undoubtedly affect your bottom line and leave you feeling disappointed. It may already be happening on your team, and you may be perplexed as to why. Maybe you just discovered it, or maybe it's been happening for a while and you've been hoping it will all turn around. Either way, today is the day that you're going to look deeper and decide to take action on whether you think you're overpaying your contractors. Welcome to the Stacking Your Team podcast. This podcast is for anyone looking to strengthen their leadership skills and build a high-performing team. I'm your host, Shelli Warren. Leading people can be tough, but it's a skill we can all continue to develop. You already know that whether your workplace is big or small, people are your greatest asset and often your largest expense. That's why you take your role seriously and want to keep growing as a leader. You'll find that each episode is designed to provide practical solutions that you can apply immediately. So let's dive into today's episode with a couple of quick reminders. No one escapes team troubles, including me, and the team that got you here may not be the team that will get you there. Overpaying people is one of the biggest worries and complaints that I hear from my clients. It's a common dilemma when you don't have a clear way to hold people accountable for your expectations. It also happens when you fear that your success is so tightly linked to a contractor that you end up tolerating, feeling disappointed, and then you beat yourself up for not doing something about it sooner. My clients are just like you. They're trying to give people the benefit of the doubt, but data doesn't lie, and ill feelings toward a team member are never the atmosphere that you want to have in your small business. So let's have a look at 3 signs that you are overpaying your contractor, and it's now time to cut ties. To set the stage for this list, I want you to know that I've compiled it based on actual dilemmas my clients and I have experienced. Here we go. The first sign that you're overpaying your contractor and it's time to cut ties is that you've noticed a significant drop in the level of care you receive. You were once their VIP client, and now you feel like you have been unprioritized. Basically, it feels like you've dropped to the bottom of the list. Now, I'm not talking about contractors who have set boundaries and you now have to abide by those boundaries. I'm talking about signs of complacency towards the outcomes they're being paid to deliver to you. Now, it might look like this. Their work used to be top-notch. Now it's mediocre. Balls are dropped, deadlines are missed, or tasks are delivered extremely close to deadlines, or a few days, or even more, late. There may be times when work is delivered last minute, possibly with mistakes and typos and missing any significance, meaning the basics are delivered, but not much more. You might also notice that their work is delivered to you in the fringe hours, meaning on the weekend or late at night, just in time for a deadline. Now, I get it. Contractors rightfully can choose when they want to work and when they don't want to work. What's frustrating is when you see that they are off the radar, unavailable, during traditional working hours, and the timing of their delivery of tasks now leads you to having to work weekends or evenings to pick up the next step of the process. Here's another way to think about it. If you were rating their work, you'd rate it a C, when it used to be an A or A+. The second sign that you're overpaying your contractor and it's time to cut ties is that promises go undelivered. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say that part of the services your contractor agreed to provide are reports, summaries of data, or strategies to combat constraints or improve results. Yet this information is not forthcoming. You ask for it, but there's always an excuse for why it's not pulled together. Or they seem confused about your request, claiming they forgot they agreed to provide this insight in the first place. To appease you, they may suggest in the moment to give you insight verbally rather than formally with any proof that backs up their findings. The third sign that you're overpaying your contractor and it's time to cut ties is that the time they've allocated to you is very limited, yet their fees have not been adjusted. Here's what I mean by this. They stop attending your group meetings, or when they are present, it's obvious that they're focused on other work. They're half listening, missing cues, and zero eye contact. If you're meeting with them virtually, you notice them smiling or deeply interested in something else on their screen. It can also look like this. One-to-one time with you is rushed. They often arrive late, and they're the first one to end the conversation and leave the meeting. They may also have stopped caring about their appearance with you, and they may be tardy to reply to internal communications such as chat or Teams or Slack or even email. Essentially, it's become evident that you are in their queue rather than being first in line. You're not feeling like a respected client anymore, and that stings. So why does this happen? I've seen 3 significant reasons why there's a shift in how your contractor delivers their services to you. 1, they've expanded their client roster. 2, they deem your work not to fit the type of services they now have decided that they want to focus on. And 3, you've fallen out of favor with them. So let's start with the first probable cause. They've expanded their client roster. Now, at one point, you may have been their only client or one of a very few, but they've onboarded new clients, some of which may have come through you. You know, this is very common with my clients. They help build up the person and are delighted to bring ideal clients to their favorite contractor, only to find themselves drop to the bottom of their priority list because their workload just increased and they've not hired anyone to assist them in the delivery of it. In essence, they become complacent about you, the pay you provide, and the relationship with you, believing that you'll show them some grace and be okay if they need more time, miss expectations, or even disappoint you. This cuts like a knife because you likely were very involved in their development as service providers, especially if they started out with you. You're happy for their success. That's what you wanted for them, but you're not happy about feeling undervalued as a client or customer. Now, let's have a look at the second probable cause. They deem your work to not fit the type of services they now have decided they want to focus on. I get it. People evolve. Interests evolve. So does technology and personal lives. Sometimes a contractor simply does not have the energy to provide the full scope of your agreement. Sometimes a contractor is overwhelmed. Sometimes a contractor is introduced to a whole new aspect of service and product delivery, and they want to go down that path, and they've been focused on learning it. They've not been focused on their deliverables because they've been learning a new tool, a process, or diving into a new romantic relationship. This is all good. What's not good is that they don't inform you of their new direction in time to create an exit strategy with a reasonable amount of time to find a replacement for them. I've also seen contractors drastically raise their rates once they have a full roster of clients because they can. This is a great strategy to weed out clients they no longer want to serve and lean more into high-paying, perfectly ideal clients. Okay, I get it. Yet this falls apart when they don't stack their own team to help provide outputs. Your experience tanks, and it can leave you wondering, what the heck are you overpaying for? In a nutshell, you are not being respected or treated well as a client. I mean, come on. You hold yourself and your team accountable to provide high-quality care for your clients and customers. So when you're not getting that same level of care, it burns. And the third probable cause? You've fallen out of favor with them. It can happen. You may have done something, said something, or they've simply outgrown you or your team contact who has the most interaction with them. They may not like you or like working with you, or they no longer enjoy working with your team. They just don't like you, and that feels really uncomfortable because as humans, We want to be liked. But let's get real. You don't really like them as much right now either, do you? They may even plan on ending their contract with you when it's up for renewal. I often remind my clients, and now I'm reminding you too, that disappointment in someone can quickly turn into tolerating their behavior. If left unchecked, that tolerance hardens into resentment, and resentment eventually becomes dislike. And once you've reached the point of dislike, the relationship is done. It's time to end the contract. It all comes down to these two questions. The first one, do you want to remain overpaying them for undelivered care, products, services, and expertise? And the second question, do you want to confront them in an attempt to repair the relationship and hold them accountable to improving their level of service? If you answered no to either of those questions, here are some next steps to consider. The first thing you'd want to do is talk to them about how you feel. Ask them to help you understand the significant shift in their relationship with you. And remember, you are a client. If this conversation doesn't end satisfactorily and you continue to see gaps in their performance, or you can suggest that you end the contract early or change the scope of work and the fees. Sure, this takes a bit of work and it can be uncomfortable, but oh so worth it to release this level of stress that's been plaguing you for a while now. And thirdly, you could consider bringing the role inside your business. A client recently did this after a very long working relationship with a contractor who she was influential in building out their client roster of fantastic referrals from her. It's sad, it's true, and it happens a lot. Sure, it takes a bit of work to develop the role in-house, but you now know exactly what you want and what your business needs. It will be much easier to find a great candidate to join your team and knock your socks off. You deserve to be surrounded by people who are committed to your mission and who will see you as one of their top 2 clients. It's not unreasonable to want to feel cared for, respected, and important, especially if you're paying the person well, paying them on time, providing periodic bonuses, and upholding their boundaries and their systems. It's not like you're one of those business owners who underpays Fiverr or Upwork's contractors or VA agency and puts unreasonable demands on people. No, you've thoughtfully vetted and then selected the contractors who provide a specific set of skills and expertise, and you want to provide them long-term employment that feels productive and mutually beneficial, not awkward, difficult, and fraught with frustrations. Hey, did you know that I host a free live workshop every month? Each session is packed with game-changing insights to help you grow and lead with confidence. And people tell us our workbooks are fantastic. Want to know when the next one is and what we'll be diving into? Subscribe to our weekly newsletter and you'll always be in the loop. This could be the most valuable hour you've invested in yourself in a very long time. And if you found today's episode helpful, please share it with a friend. Tag us on Instagram @StackingYourTeam, leave us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, or visit our website and grab some of those great free resources over there. Don't miss out. Everything we do at Stacking Your Team is designed to help you strengthen your leadership skills and build a high-performing team. I'll see you over on Instagram or LinkedIn, and of course, I'll be here next week to join you as you step into expanding your leadership skills even further.